All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back for another deep dive.
Hmm.
We talk a lot about this idea of personal growth, right? And how to kind of level up in life. And there's this book that I think a lot of people have been, kind of gravitating towards.
Hmm.
And it's Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life,
Right.
an antidote to chaos. So we thought we'd dive into that today.
It's a really interesting book. It pulls from all these different areas like psychology, philosophy, even religious stories, and Peterson's own life experiences too.
It's kind of a mix of everything, right?
It is, and it all kind of comes together to give us this roadmap for finding more meaning and creating a sense of order in our lives.
So the big idea here is that life is inherently chaotic.
Mm.
There's always going to be unpredictability.
Right.
But we can actually do something about it, right? We can step up and take responsibility for ourselves.
Exactly.
That's kind of Peterson's main point.
He really emphasizes the need for personal responsibility and discipline and how that can help us build structure and purpose in our lives.
So for those of you listening, if you're already on this journey of personal growth,
Right.
think of this as kind of a cheat sheet to some of the key ideas in this book and how you can actually apply them.
I think that's a great way to approach it.
All right, so let's jump right in.
Let's get it.
Peterson starts with this really interesting concept, this need for order as like a fundamental human thing.
That's a really interesting concept.
And it's so basic, right? But he kicks off with this rule, stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Yeah.
But he's not just talking about posture.
Right.
He's tying it confidence to assertiveness, even to how dominance hierarchies work in the animal kingdom.
Right.
Like with lobsters, he uses that example.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might seem a little strange at first to compare humans to lobsters, but it's a powerful metaphor for understanding social dynamics and how our physical presence can influence our place in the hierarchy.
It's kind of wild, right? But it's about how we present ourselves to the world.
Absolutely.
It's like how we carry ourselves can actually affect how we feel inside.
Exactly. There's this feedback loop between our body language and our mental state. So when you stand up straight, you're not just projecting confidence, you're also reinforcing it within yourself.
Right, and it's not just about feeling good either.
Yeah.
Peterson talks about how this can even influence how other people perceive us and treat us.
Yeah, there's research that shows that people who stand tall are often perceived as more competent and trustworthy.
It's fascinating, right?
It really is.
Faking it till you make it almost.
Yeah, in a way, but it's more about consciously choosing to embody a certain state of mind and then allowing your body language to reflect that.
And I think this can tie into something we talk about a lot, which is, taking action even when you don't feel like it.
Absolutely. Action often precedes motivation.
So even if you don't feel confident right now, just physically standing taller can actually start to shift your mindset.
Try it out. You might be surprised by the results.
So moving on to rule number 2, this is where things start to get really practical.
Let's hear it.
Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So often, we're so good at taking care of other people,
Oh, yeah.
right? Our friends, our family, our kids, but we neglect ourselves.
It's so easy to put ourselves last.
And Peterson's saying, hey, that's not sustainable.
Right.
You can't pour from an empty cup. You've got to take care of yourself first.
And it's not selfish either. It's essential.
It's self-compassion.
Exactly. If you were in charge of someone you loved, wouldn't you make sure they were eating well, getting enough sleep, dealing with their problems in a healthy way?
Of course.
Well, you deserve that same level of care and attention.
Right. It's like that oxygen mask on the airplane analogy.
Yeah, you have to put your own mask on first before you can help anyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good point to kind of pause and think,
Right.
am I actually treating myself like someone I care about?
Are you giving yourself the same kindness and consideration that you would give to a loved one?
And if not, what's one small thing you can do today to start changing that?
Maybe it's getting an extra hour of sleep or making a healthy meal or setting aside some time for something you enjoy.
It doesn't have to be anything drastic, just a small step in the right direction.
Right. Consistency is key.
All right, so now let's talk about the people we surround ourselves with, because that has a huge impact on our growth, right?
Absolutely. Our relationships shape who we are.
Yeah. And that leads us to rule number 3. Make friends with people who want the best for you.
I like that one.
This is about being intentional about the company we keep.
Right. It's not just about having a lot of friends. It's about having the right kind of friends.
The ones who are going to support us, challenge us, inspire us.
Exactly. Friends who want to see you succeed, who will celebrate your wins and help you through your struggles.
And on the flip side, sometimes we have friendships that maybe aren't serving us anymore.
Right. Sometimes we outgrow friendships or they become toxic or they just kind of hold us back.
And it can be really tough to let go of those relationships.
It can, but it's important to remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you and support your growth.
So for you listening, think about your closest friends. Do they genuinely want what's best for you?
And are there any relationships that might be draining your energy or preventing you from moving forward?
It's a good time to take stock of your social circle.
Yeah, and remember, you have the power to choose who you spend your time with.
Okay, let's move on to rule number 4, which I think is so relevant in today's world.
Okay.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
That's such a good one, especially with social media where we're constantly bombarded with these curated versions of other people's lives.
Right? It's so easy to get caught up in comparison.
And it can be really damaging to our self-esteem.
Totally, because you're always going to find someone who's seemingly doing better than you.
Right. There's always going to be someone who's more successful or more attractive or whatever your metric is.
And Peterson's advice here is so simple, but so profound.
Yeah, just focus on your own progress.
Are you better than you were yesterday?
That's the only comparison that matters.
Right, because ultimately, personal growth is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It's about making small, consistent improvements over time.
So maybe pick one area of your life where you want to grow.
Right.
And just focus on taking one small step forward each day.
And celebrate those small wins.
And don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
Just stay focused on your own lane.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about responsibility.
Okay.
This is a big theme in the book. It's captured really well in rule number 6. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world.
Ooh, that's a powerful one.
So this isn't just about cleaning your room.
Right. It's about taking ownership of your own life.
It's about addressing your own shortcomings and creating a sense of order within yourself before you try to fix everything else.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that change starts from within.
And it's not an easy rule
It's not a challenge.
because it's so much easier to point fingers and blame others.
Yeah, it's easier to focus on the problems out there than to confront our own issues.
But Peterson's saying, hey, look in the mirror first.
Right. Get your own house in order before you start giving advice to everyone else.
And think about it when you're trying to help someone and your own life is a mess.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to take you seriously, right?
Right. It's like the doctor who smokes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This rule is about walking the walk.
Yeah. It's about leading by example.
It's about aligning your actions with your words.
And it's about creating a solid foundation for personal growth.
So for you listening, is there an area of your life where you could bring more order?
Yeah. Is there something you've been neglecting or avoiding?
Maybe it's your finances, your health, your relationships, whatever it is, start there.
Yeah. Focus on getting your own house in order and then see how that ripples out into the rest of your life.
Okay, now let's talk about meaning.
Okay.
This is really at the heart of the book.
Yeah. It's what gives our lives purpose.
And it's captured in rule number 7, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient.
That's a good distinction.
So expedient things are those things that are easy and convenient,
They offer immediate gratification.
like scrolling through social media or watching TV all day.
Yeah, those things can be enjoyable in the moment, but they don't really lead to lasting fulfillment.
Right, they're empty calories.
Exactly.
Meaningful things, on the other hand, often require effort and sacrifice.
Right, they challenge us. They push us outside of our comfort zones.
But they also give us a sense of purpose and accomplishment.
Yeah, they connect us to something bigger than ourselves.
So think about it. What are you doing in your life that truly feels meaningful?
Yeah, what are you working towards that gives you a sense of purpose, even if it's hard?
Maybe it's your career, your relationships, your hobbies, whatever it is, that's where you want to focus your energy.
Exactly, because those are the things that will ultimately bring you lasting satisfaction.
All right, so 2 more rules I want to touch on.
Okay.
Rule number 8 is about truth. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but it's so important
It is.
because lies erode trust,
Right, they create this web of deceit that can be really hard to untangle.
and they damage our relationships with others and with ourselves.
Yeah, when we lie, we're essentially betraying ourselves.
And it can be tempting to lie sometimes.
Oh, yeah, to avoid conflict or to protect ourselves or to make ourselves look better.
But ultimately, honesty is the best policy,
It is the foundation for any healthy relationship.
and it's essential for personal growth.
Absolutely, because growth requires self-awareness, and honesty is the key to unlocking that.
Okay, last rule. Number 10, be precise in your speech.
Oh, I like that one.
This one's about communication.
Yeah, clear communication is so important.
Because when we're vague, it creates confusion and misunderstandings.
Right, it can lead to arguments and resentment.
And it can even make us feel more anxious.
Yeah, because we're not sure if we're being understood.
So Peterson's advice is to be clear and direct in what we say.
Right. To choose our words carefully and to make sure our message is being received.
And this is something we can practice every day.
Yeah, whether it's in our personal relationships or at work or even just in our own thoughts.
Pay attention to how you're communicating and see if you can be more precise.
It's a skill that takes practice, but it's worth it.
So that's it for our deep dive into Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life.
Well, that's a good one.
There's a lot to unpack in this book.
There is. It's a really rich and thought-provoking work.
And hopefully this conversation has given you some food for thought.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
actionable takeaways that you can apply to your own life.
So if you're looking for a guide on your personal growth journey, this book is definitely worth checking out.
I agree.
Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, and stay tuned for the next one. Like and subscribe if this helped you. It really helps the channel.